All right, so are you ready to jump into this? Today we're going to take a deep dive into Stork Inc.
Sounds good.
They're making some pretty big waves with these AI chatbots they're building
Yeah.
that are supposedly going to like completely change how we shop online.
Yeah. Definitely seems like something to keep an eye on.
Yeah, we've got some articles straight from Stork Inc. themselves,
Okay.
plus a couple of little extra snippets we found online.
Cool.
They kind of give us a peek behind the curtain, I think.
Nice.
So the mission for us today is to kind of figure out how Stork Inc. is actually using AI, to transform the online shopping experience.
Yeah.
What that means for businesses, but also what it means for us.
Right. The shoppers. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Makes sense.
So one of the things that really jumps out right away is this focus on what they call intelligent automation for e-commerce.
Yeah. That's a pretty bold statement when you think about it.
Yeah, and it makes you wonder if they can actually pull it off.
Yeah, no kidding. Especially when you see their lead architect, Abel Garza,
Right.
is out there saying that they can increase conversions by 30% within just 90 days.
Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a game changer if it's really true.
Yeah, for sure. It
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
It is a bold statement for sure. But
Yeah,
looking at the material we have, it seems like they're not just talking about like
right,
slapping a generic chatbot on a website.
right.
They're going for something much more sophisticated.
Okay.
And one of the key things is that they really emphasize this commitment to personalized solutions.
Okay. I'm intrigued. Now, what does this personalized experience actually look like for someone browsing an online store?
So think about it this way.
Okay.
Instead of just seeing a list of products that you might like,
Right, those recommendations.
yeah, based on maybe your past purchases or whatever,
Right.
imagine having like a virtual shopping assistant
Okay.
who like really understands your individual preferences
Okay.
and gives you recommendations that are based on all kinds of factors.
Right.
It's taking personalization to a whole new level.
So it's not just about, suggesting products I might like, but also about understanding like the context of my shopping journey.
Exactly.
So like if I'm looking for a new dress for a summer wedding, for example,
Right.
the bot would consider, the occasion, the weather, maybe even my budget,
For sure.
and then suggest options that actually fit all those criteria.
Exactly. And it goes beyond just product recommendations too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the materials we have talk about like offering tailored financial advice
Wow.
through like this integration they have with Broxel Pay.
Okay.
So that means like the chatbot isn't just helping you find the right products.
Right.
It's actually helping you to make informed purchasing decisions that are aligned with your financial goals.
That's amazing. It almost sounds too good to be true.
Right.
Are there any potential downsides to this level of personalization? Like,
Yeah.
could it ever feel intrusive or creepy?
Yeah, that's a really valid concern. And
Yeah.
it all comes down to transparency and control. Stork Inc. emphasizes natural interaction as like a core principle of what they're doing,
Okay.
which suggests that they're trying to design this system that feels really helpful rather than invasive.
Okay, so how would that actually work? What would make that interaction feel natural?
Well, we'd have to see it in action to know for sure.
Yeah.
But just based on what they've released, it seems like they're focusing on creating a really conversational experience.
Okay.
So that might involve things like using natural language processing to really understand like complex requests,
Okay.
or even incorporating like some level of humor and empathy into the bot's responses.
Interesting. Okay, so we've talked about this whole personalization aspect
Right.
and this idea of natural interaction. What about the technology itself?
Yeah.
What can you tell us about how these chatbots are actually built and maintained?
Well, one of the articles we have actually delves into their software development cycle,
Okay.
which they describe as like develop, build, test, monitor, maintain.
Okay.
So that suggests a really iterative approach
Gotcha.
where they're constantly refining and improving their AI solutions based on data and feedback.
So it's not a set it and forget it kind of system.
Definitely not.
They're constantly learning and adapting.
Yeah, and that makes sense, especially in a field like e-commerce,
Right.
where trends and technologies are always evolving.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, and I think this iterative cycle also shows that they're aware that AI, especially in e-commerce, needs to be dynamic and constantly evolving.
Right.
So I think this develop, build, test, monitor, maintain approach
Yeah.
is probably how they're going to stay ahead of the curve.
I'm curious about this testing phase.
Yeah.
What kind of data are they using to train these bots?
Right.
And how do they ensure that they're providing accurate and unbiased recommendations?
Yeah, that's a key question. And unfortunately, the source material that we have
Right.
doesn't really go into a lot of detail about their training data or algorithms.
Okay.
But they do mention using things like machine learning, which essentially means that the bots are learning from like vast amounts of data,
Yeah.
and they're getting better over time.
So the more people interact with these chatbots, the more sophisticated they become.
Exactly.
That's fascinating. But it also raises some questions about data privacy and security,
Yeah,
which I'm sure we'll delve into later. But
definitely.
for now, let's just stick with this idea of continuous improvement.
Okay.
Can you give us a concrete example of how this develop, build, test, monitor, maintain cycle might work in practice?
Sure. So let's say users are consistently asking the chatbot for a feature it doesn't have,
Okay.
like the ability to compare prices across different retailers.
Okay.
So the monitor phase would pick up on that trend.
Okay.
The team would then go back to the develop phase, design that feature, build it into the system, and then test it with a group of users.
Gotcha.
And then if the feedback is positive,
Yeah.
they maintain that feature, ensuring it's working properly and providing value.
Okay, so it's a constant loop of gathering feedback, making improvements, and ensuring the chatbot is actually meeting those evolving needs
That's exactly.
of its users.
Yeah, it's a pretty agile approach.
Yeah, it is.
It suggests a commitment to providing like a truly user-centered experience,
Right.
which is essential if they want to gain the trust and loyalty of online shoppers.
Absolutely. Okay, so we've talked a lot about the potential benefits of this approach.
Right.
But let's not shy away from the potential challenges.
Yeah.
What are some hurdles that Stork Inc. might face as they try to roll out these AI-powered solutions on a large scale?
Well, for one thing, ensuring data security and privacy is going to be paramount. With
Yeah.
these chatbots collecting so much personal information,
Yeah.
Stork Inc. is going to need really robust security measures in place
Right.
to protect that user data from breaches and misuse.
Yeah.
They also need to be super transparent about how they're using this data
Right.
and give users control over their own information.
Absolutely. Another challenge, I think, could be managing user expectations.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like, people might go in expecting these chatbots to be, like, all-knowing
Right.
and capable of handling any request.
Yeah, like a magic genie.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So how do they prevent frustration
Yeah.
when the AI inevitably hits its limits?
Yeah, I think transparency is key here.
Okay.
Stork Inc. needs to be upfront about the capabilities
Yeah.
and limitations of their AI solutions,
Right,
setting realistic expectations right
Right.
from the start.
right.
They also need to provide clear guidance on when human intervention is necessary
Yeah.
and make it easy for users to connect with a human representative if needed.
It sounds like finding the right balance
Yeah,
between AI and human interaction.
it's going to be crucial.
Yeah, it's going to be crucial to the success of this whole endeavor.
Absolutely. And it's not just about striking that balance for individual users.
Right.
It's also about considering like the broader societal impact of this technology.
Okay, let's talk about one of the big questions surrounding AI is its potential impact on jobs.
Yeah. So what happens to customer service representatives, for example,
Right.
if chatbots are handling most of the routine inquiries?
Yeah, that's a valid concern. And I think it's important to remember that AI is a tool.
Right.
And like any tool can be used in different ways.
Yeah.
In this case, AI could be used to augment the capabilities of human workers,
Okay.
allowing them to focus on more complex tasks that require empathy and nuanced understanding.
So rather than replacing humans entirely,
Right.
it's about finding ways for AI and human workers to collaborate effectively.
Exactly. And it's up to companies like Stork Inc.
Right.
to be mindful of this
Yeah.
and to ensure that the implementation of their AI solutions doesn't lead to like widespread job displacement.
All right. We've covered a lot of ground in this first part of our deep dive.
Yeah, we have.
We've explored Stork Inc.'s vision for personalized e-commerce,
Right.
delved into the technology behind their chatbots,
Hmm.
and touched on some of the potential challenges and societal implications.
Hmm.
But we're just getting started. So join us in part 2 as we explore some real-world examples
Right.
of how Stork Inc.'s solutions are actually being used
Awesome.
and what it all means for the future of online shopping.
Looking forward to it. So picking up right where we left off,
Yeah.
let's imagine a world where like every online store
Okay.
offers this level of personalized service.
Okay.
What do you think the ripple effects would be?
Well, it seems like it would raise the bar for everyone, right?
Right.
Like convenience and efficiency would just become like the norm,
Exactly.
not the exception.
And the businesses that don't adapt,
Yeah.
they might struggle to keep up.
Right.
But it's not just about staying competitive either.
Right.
This kind of technology could completely reshape how we even interact with businesses online.
Okay, give me an example. How would this play out in like a different industry, say like travel?
Okay, so imagine planning a trip.
Okay.
Where instead of like endlessly scrolling through, travel websites and stuff,
Right.
you have an AI travel agent. Okay.
That understands your budget, your travel style, what you're interested in.
Right.
It could like pull together personalized itineraries, suggest hidden gems you'd never find on your own,
Wow.
and even handle all the bookings and logistics.
That sounds amazing.
Right.
It's like having a personal concierge
Yeah.
who knows exactly what you want and just takes care of everything.
That's the idea.
Wow.
And this could apply to so many areas.
Right.
Beyond just retail and travel.
Yeah.
Healthcare, education, entertainment.
Right.
Anything where a personalized experience actually adds value.
Okay, so zooming back in on Stork Inc.
Okay.
Their vision statement talks about becoming leaders in the market of bot development. They're clearly aiming for widespread adoption across multiple sectors.
It seems like it.
Yeah, and their emphasis on efficiency and automation suggests that they believe this approach is like scalable and adaptable.
Right, and it's worth noting that they also talk about sustainability.
Yeah, which means that they're actually thinking about the environmental impact of their technology.
It's good to see a company at the forefront of AI taking those considerations seriously.
Definitely.
But let's be realistic for a second.
Yeah.
There are going to be hurdles along the way.
Of course.
What are the biggest challenges that they're going to need to overcome?
Well, one big one is ensuring that their AI solutions are flexible enough to cater to different industries and user needs.
Okay.
A one-size-fits-all approach isn't going to work.
So they'll need to be constantly refining and customizing their bots based on specific requirements.
Exactly. It's not just about building a smart chatbot.
Right.
It's about understanding how to apply that intelligence to solve real-world problems in different contexts.
And another challenge, I think, is going to be building trust with users.
Oh, for sure.
People are understandably wary of AI.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to things like personal data and decision-making.
Totally.
So transparency is going to be key. It absolutely needs to be upfront about how they're using data.
Right.
And give users control over their own information.
Definitely. They also need to be clear about the limitations of the technology and not overpromise what it can do.
Absolutely. All right. So we've talked about the potential benefits. We've talked about the challenges.
Right.
But let's bring it down to earth a little bit.
Okay.
For the average person, what would this kind of AI integration actually look like in their daily life?
Okay, so paint us a picture.
Yeah, paint us a picture.
So imagine waking up and checking a personalized news feed curated by an AI that knows your interests and your priorities.
Okay.
Then your AI assistant reminds you of your upcoming appointments.
Right.
Suggests the most efficient route to work.
Okay.
Taking into account traffic and weather conditions.
Okay. I can already see how this would streamline things.
Right.
What about shopping?
Yeah.
Would I still need to browse websites, or would the AI just kind of take over that completely?
It could be a combination. Imagine telling your AI assistant, hey, I need new running shoes for under $100.
Okay.
And the AI would search across multiple retailers.
Wow.
Consider your foot type, your running style, your budget. And then present you with a curated selection.
So it wouldn't just be about finding any pair of shoes. It would be about finding the right shoes.
Exactly.
For me, based on my needs and preferences.
Exactly.
Okay, cool. And what if I need help making a decision between a few options?
Yeah.
Would the AI offer advice?
Absolutely. It'd be like having a knowledgeable friend who understands your style and helps you make like informed choices.
Okay.
But it wouldn't just tell you what to buy.
Right.
It would explain why certain options might be better suited for you.
Okay.
Empowering you to make that final decision.
This is starting to sound less like science fiction and more like a genuinely helpful tool that could really make our lives easier.
Yeah, definitely.
But what about the potential for becoming overly reliant on AI?
Oh, yeah. That's an interesting question.
Like, will we lose the ability to think for ourselves?
Yeah, I think that's a valid concern.
Yeah.
I think the key is to strike a balance.
Right.
AI should be an augmentation of our capabilities.
Right.
Not a replacement for our critical thinking skills.
Yeah.
We need to stay informed, question the information that we're given, and ultimately make decisions that align with our own values and goals.
So it's about using AI as a partner, not a crutch.
Exactly. And that requires a shift in mindset.
Right.
We need to view AI not as a threat,
Yeah.
but as a tool that can help us navigate
Yeah.
an increasingly complex world.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground from, the nitty-gritty of Stork Inc's approach to the broader implications of this whole AI-driven personalization.
Yeah, it's been a good discussion.
But before we wrap up, let's bring it back to the listener.
Okay.
What are the key takeaways they should keep in mind as they think about the future of AI?
Well, I think one key takeaway is that AI is not some distant futuristic concept.
Right.
It's already here,
Yeah.
and its influence is only going to grow.
Yeah.
So it's important to stay informed and engage in conversations about its development and impact.
Another takeaway is that AI is a tool.
Absolutely.
And like any tool, it can be used for good or for ill.
That's true.
So it's up to us as individuals and as a society to ensure that its development and deployment aligns with our values.
I completely agree with that.
Yeah.
And I think maybe the most important takeaway is that we all have a role to play in shaping the future of AI.
Absolutely.
Whether it's staying informed about the latest developments, discussing the ethical implications, or advocating for responsible AI practices, we can all contribute to creating a future where AI empowers humanity and doesn't diminish it.
This has been a fascinating exploration of Stork Inc. and the rise of these AI-powered chatbots.
It has.
But our deep dive isn't over yet.
Oh, right.
So join us in part 3 as we wrap up with some final thoughts and leave you with a thought-provoking question to ponder. Okay, so we're back for the final part of our deep dive into Stork Inc. and their vision for AI in e-commerce.
It's been pretty fascinating, right?
Yeah, it has been. We've gone from like the really technical details of how they build chatbots all the way to these really big questions about, data privacy and what this means for jobs.
Yeah, definitely a lot to unpack.
Yeah, for sure. So let's take a step back.
Okay.
And think big picture here.
All right.
If Stork Inc. actually achieves everything they're setting out to do, what kind of world are they creating?
That is the million-dollar question.
It is.
What does this actually mean for, the average person?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, based on what we've seen, I think they're aiming for a world where shopping online is incredibly personalized and efficient.
Yeah.
Like, imagine having AI assistants that anticipate your needs, help you make smarter decisions, and even, handle all those little tedious tasks.
Yeah.
Like comparing prices or booking appointments.
So it's like a future where technology is actually making our lives easier.
Exactly.
Not more complicated.
Right.
But, we can't just focus on the good stuff.
Of course not.
We've talked about those potential risks around data security and job displacement.
Right, all those ethical considerations.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we can't ignore those.
No, absolutely not. So the success of this kind of technology, I think, really hinges on responsible development.
For sure.
And deployment, right?
Absolutely.
Companies like Stork Inc. have a huge responsibility here to prioritize transparency, user control, and just ethical AI practices in general.
It's not enough to just build a cool product anymore. They have to build trust with users.
Yeah.
And really think about the impact their tech is having on society.
Absolutely. And it's not just on them. It's on us too.
Right.
As consumers and citizens.
Yeah, we have to stay informed. We have a role to play.
Exactly.
In making sure AI is used to benefit everyone, not just a select few.
So here's a final thought-provoking question for you, dear listener.
All right, let's hear it.
We've talked about AI helping with shopping, with travel, even managing our daily lives.
Right.
But what other aspects of our world could be transformed by this kind of personalized AI?
Yeah, that's a good one to think about.
And what do you want that future to look like?
Yeah, because this deep dive into Stork Inc., it's just a glimpse into what's possible.
Right.
Both the amazing potential and the real challenges.
Yeah, and this journey is just beginning.
It is.
And it's one that we're all going to be taking together.
Together.
So thanks for joining us.